Caseus. Knightfall. Chapter 4. The beeping of his comlink woke Caseus. Sarah was still asleep. Putting on his gear quietly, he looked at the comm signal. Master Takai. She was calling him to the briefing room. Heading down the steps, he walked to the briefing room, rubbing his eyes. Master Takai stood next to the holomap and motioned for him to join. Yes, Master? Well, first, tidy your hair. Did you sleep all right? Caseus quickly brushed his messy brown hair back into place. Just slept on the wrong side of the bed. What's going on? We have great news. General Grievous has been found. That's great. Where is he? He's hiding in the outpost system. Finally. No more running. We can bring him to justice for everything he's done. And with him out of the way, it's just a matter of finding the leaders of the Separatist Alliance and bringing them in to face judgment. Caseus was elated. This is great news. Has the council decided who's going to bring him in? Not yet. They're going to decide today in session. Once this is over, Master Windu will speak to Chancellor Palpatine to ensure that he returns his emergency powers back to the Senate. Good. Maybe then we can get things back on track with the Republic. Master Takai looked a little less enthusiastic. Perhaps. But something still isn't adding up. What are you talking about? We know where Grievous is hiding. And if whoever the council sends can take him down, Palpatine will have to give up his emergency powers just like he promised. The Chancellor has promised many things, Caseus. Not all have come to fruition. Furthermore, he has become increasingly involved in Jedi affairs, a matter that worries myself and the Council. Why? I thought we served the Senate. We serve the Senate and the Republic, not just its leader. If he continues to involve himself in Jedi business... Caseus, why does a Jedi not seek great power? Well, because too much power can become corrupting. Do you think the Chancellor is... I don't know, Caseus, but the circumstances are troubling. The more I've looked into the matter at hand, the more I've realized that had the Chancellor taken a more proactive approach given the many opportunities afforded during this war, we likely could have seen the end of this conflict long ago. You can't be suggesting he's purposefully prolonging the Clone Wars, can you? Master, the Chancellor hasn't always made the best decisions, but I know he has the best interest of the Republic at heart. Maybe. Still, the situation worries me. Especially now that the Senate is proposing to afford more executive powers to the Chancellor. But we may be overthinking things right now. I heard that Juro and a few of his men were transferred to Artus? Yeah, with how things have been going, he decided it would be in his best interest to serve outside of a combative position. Master Takai looked slightly worried. Why would they send him out so far, though? Do we know who put in the request? Come to think of it, Caseus wasn't entirely sure. He'd been preoccupied with other matters the past 2 days that he didn't really question the matter. I assumed that, well, maybe he requested it himself. It's pretty remote and quiet out there, so maybe he just figured it wouldn't be as hectic as serving on the front lines. Perhaps. I'm going to look into this matter, Caseus. You're dismissed. Caseus bowed to Master Takai and took his leave. This was a major breakthrough. Grievous wouldn't be able to hide much longer. He wondered who they would select to face him. Whoever it was would definitely have their work cut out for them. He knew firsthand the danger that Grievous posed. He and Sarah barely survived against him on Kelja. Of all the dangers Caseus had faced in his time as a Jedi, Grievous was by far the most dangerous adversary he'd come across. He prayed he would never encounter him again. After completing his morning exercises, Caseus ate his lunch in the dining hall with Sarah. Who do you think they're going to send? I don't know. Master Fisto had a run-in with Grievous not long ago. Maybe he'd be a good choice. I don't know. Master Fisto doesn't strike me as someone who could defeat him. Master Kiadi, maybe? He's off-world on Megiddo. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I suppose. I just thought of something. What do we do about Dravok after Grievous is taken care of? Well, without the war to distract us, we can focus all of our efforts on finding him and bringing him down. For now, I'm more worried about Corbin. But like you said, first things first. Right. And when everything is done and over with Dravok, Corbin, the war. Then we can decide what to do. Agreed. Cassius' comlink suddenly began to beep again. Hello? Cassius, I did a bit of research. No call was put out from Artis Prime in need of additional troops. What? That's not all. The outpost isn't responding to any of our transmissions. Finish what you're doing and get to the comm tower as soon as you can. Okay, I'll be there in a bit. Cassius was worried. Wait, I thought you said Juro and his men were called out there as a transfer. This doesn't make sense. If no one at the outpost put in a transfer request, it had to have been someone with the credentials to do so. That could be anyone in the Grand Army's higher-ups, though. I know. I'm going to the comm tower. I'll let you know what I can find out. Okay. Cassius immediately rushed upstairs to the turbolift and entered the comm tower where Master Takai was waiting. Anything? No. I need you to try contacting Juro. Cassius entered his credentials and activated the holotransmitter. Juro, this is Cassius. Do you read me? I need you to contact me as soon as you receive this transmission. You and your men could be in trouble. They waited for a few minutes. No response. Master, what should we do? Master Takai stroked her chin and stared at the monitor, thinking. I'm not sure, Cassius. But this situation has me feeling very uneasy. So there's nothing we can do? I can try to put in an access request for the security recordings at the outpost. At the very least, we'll be able to see what's happening over there. Maybe we should send the 303rd. We can't afford to send the fleet until we're certain there's a threat. It may be that solar activity is affecting their transmission software. I'll try to access the security recordings from here, but it will take a while for them to come through. For now, be patient and be ready if we need to leave and assist them. Cassius looked at her and back to the monitor and nodded. Okay. Get back to me as soon as they're in. Any news on the situation with Grievous? Yes. Master Kenobi has been selected for the assignment. He's currently en route to Utapau. At least that's one loose end tied up. I'm going to have my stuff ready just in case we need to make a quick departure. Smart thinking. I'll call as soon as I hear back. Returning to his quarters, Cassius gathered his things. I don't know, R3. All I know is something isn't right. Master Takai is working on it. Better recharge your cells in case we need you. R3 beeped and went into rest mode. The evening drew close, as Cassius and Sarah sat outside in the training grounds. Cassius was clenching his fist and tapping his foot. Cassius, just relax. You're making me anxious too. If something is going on over there, Master Takai will figure it out. I know, I want it done sooner than later. Juro should have contacted me by now. I'm sure he's fine, Cassius. You've seen how resilient he is. I know, Sarah, but we don't know what kind of threat he's up against. We don't know if there is a threat yet. Well, I don't want to wait to find out. His comlink beeped again. Looks like you may not have to. Cassius picked up his comlink. Cassius, get up here. Sarah too. It's urgent. Sarah looked at him, puzzled. Why me? Cassius thought for a moment, and his eyes grew wide. Come on. Cassius stood and bolted down the corridors. Hey, wait! The two Jedi Knights reached the turbolift, breathing heavily as they reached the comm tower. Master Windu stood next to Master Takai, staring at something on the comm table. The holograms of Master Yoda and Kiadi Mundi flickered nearby. What is it? Master Takai stared at Cassius in worry, and turned his attention to a holoprojection of the artist's security footage. In the footage, he saw clones firing away at something out of sight. One of them with a medical badge on his shoulder. Juro. From out of the edge of the projection, a lightsaber blade swatted away at the incoming bullets, blocking them back and hitting the troopers before slicing through them. Juro stood alone, aiming his blaster before being lifted into the air by his throat from an unseen force. A cloaked figure stepped forward and held Juro hostage. Then the figure stopped and turned towards the camera and removed its hood. Corbin!
I know you're watching. You know who I want. I'll be waiting for him.
Corbin reached out and crushed the camera with the force as the transmission ended. Caseus stood in shock as Sarah covered her mouth. "We have to stop him." Master Windu looked to Master Takai.
"Sarah, I feel it may be in your best interest to remain here."
"What? No, you've got to be joking, Master. Corbin's my friend."
"Sarah, we have limited Jedi to spare as is. If Corbin is to be stopped, we can only afford to send one of you."
"Then send me, Master. I can deal with Corbin myself."
"No."
Cassius stared at the frozen, flickering image of Corbin on the projector. "I'll go." "You're not leaving without me, Cassius. If Corbin wants me, he'll get me. I've known Corbin since I was a child. I know him better than anyone here." "Cassius, it could be a trap. Corbin isn't one for sneak attacks. He wants me, face to face. Juro's life is on the line here, and I can't let Corbin escape to cause more trouble." "But, Cassius..." "If I don't show up alone, he'll kill Juro and flee before we can stop him. Sarah, Master, send me. I'll stop him. If I can reach him somehow, I can bring him back here to face judgment." Master Windu looked at Master Takai, and back to the hologram of Yoda, who closed his eyes and nodded.
"You'll depart within the hour, then. Arrest him if you can. But don't think of this as a rescue mission. If it comes to it, Corbin has to be stopped."
"Well, it won't come to that, Master. You can be sure of that." Cassius turned around and went to the turbo lift, leaving Sarah and the Masters alone in the comm tower.